everybody has been celebrating on the internet, and that is, has India clocked the $4 trillion mark? Have we become the $4 trillion economy? A host of businessmen, politicians, cabinet ministers, everybody is celebrating it. Where's the data, Karthik, to suggest that we have become a $4 trillion economy?
So I think, Shweta, a lot of business personalities as well as cabinet ministers who had celebrated, many of them have incidentally taken their tweets down. So this frenzy pretty much started yesterday in the midst of the India-Australia match, and there was apparently an IMF live GDP tracker which got screenshot and circulated on social media, and it went viral. Now that IMF live data tracking, GDP tracking tool in itself is unverified, but somebody posted that went viral, and we had the likes of Gautam Adani, we had the likes of senior BJP ministers like Devendra Fadnavis, we also had cabinet ministers like G. Kishan Reddy and Mr. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, and many more, actually lauding and celebrating India's leadership position, India inching closer to beating Japan and Germany and emerging to become almost the fourth largest, emerging to get to the third largest rank, and this 4 trillion milestone was celebrated. But unfortunately, there was nothing by way of a circular or a notice from either the National Statistical Office or the Finance Minister or Ministry or the RBI or any other credible agency that tracks GDP numbers in India releasing anything to the tune of 4 trillion. In fact, if you do the math, India's GDP clocked a $3.75 trillion mark in FY23. Close of FY23, which is March this year, 31st March, India's GDP stood at $3.75 trillion. Now, what is RBI projecting India's growth rate to be for this year? RBI is projecting 6.5% growth rate, and this is something plus minus, a 0.1, 0.2 percentage mark has been suggested by multiple other agencies, bodies as well. But even if you were to stick to RBI's 6.5% projection estimation, then at best by end of this financial year, which is 31st March 2024, India would be in the vicinity of about $3.99 trillion. Still shy of, kissing distance of 4 trillion, but still shy of 4 trillion if India continues to grow at 6.5% this year. If the growth is anything lower than 6.5, then 4 trillion is not something we are achieving in this financial year. However, if we are able to exceed that 6.5, because that momentum has been set, Q1 saw India growing at 7.8%. Q2 data is yet to come out, in fact expected to be released next week, should bring in perhaps Q2 numbers in the range of about 6.7%. But then we saw inflation take off in the month of July. So Q3 numbers, July, September, October, are going to August, September, October will be marred by high inflation and low GDP. So overall, if the situation continues to go as projected at 6.5%, then at best 31st March 2024, and that data will be released perhaps in June next year, is when we would be in the vicinity of 4 trillion. Right. As of now, there is nothing to suggest that India's economy is at 4 trillion. We are getting there, we are not there yet.
All right, so statistics, data, if you analyze it against the GDP growth rate for the quarter gone by and for year entirely or in entirety, we are not at $4 trillion anytime soon.
I mean, soon, yes.
In a year's time.
Still, no, not in a year's time.
By
End of this
March,
financial year,
right.
by March. So we are still about 5 months or so away, 4.5 months away. And that data is still another 3 months from that 4.5 months away. So I think around June next year is when we should know exactly what India's GDP size was for FY24. But sitting in November 2023, India is not yet at $4 trillion, and all those who celebrated, well, maybe they should hold on to their celebration. Yes, we will all celebrate, but we should hold on to that celebration until the real data comes in.
This is all contingent to what the GDP performance is for Q2, Q3 and Q4.
Absolutely.
So all perhaps in the realm of speculation, but of course, hoping to reach at 4 trillion by the end of this financial year. But so far, all those tweets seem to have been bought down by, and they're not there anymore, by celebrities, cabinet ministers and business leaders.